What's up, guys? Dr. Mo here, digital nomad physician at digitalnomadphysician.com. So this is going to be a sample workflow, essentially an electronic health record for you to create a patient appointment, a patient visit, and even a patient portal. So the way I've set it up is like this. You could do it in many other ways, and I'm using different tools to get this done, but the heart of this is essentially Google Workspace with a subscription of about somewhere around $15 a month. So as you can see here, what I did is I created a Dr. Rishori walk-in clinic. This is essentially a schedule they can access on my website. Once they click on this appointment link, they're going to put in their name, their email address, their phone number, and they are then taken to a thank you page. Everything's beautiful. Okay, so this is all automated, and I'm going to show you the automation. Don't worry about the automation. It's not that difficult to set up. So on my own schedule, so this is my calendar, my Google Calendar. When I am in the clinic, I will see that, oh, here's a patient on my calendar at 5 p.m. Their name is Motest Ash Testing. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a folder with that name. So I want under my patients folder to have the patient's name folder because I'm going to have multiple visits. I'm going to have their labs. I'm going to have their prescriptions, everything else there. And the next thing it's going to create is a SOAP note. The SOAP note is from a template that I'm using. I know this looks a little weird, but it's pretty intuitive once you see once you see the actual note. So then I have a SOAP note, and what's going to happen is everything's going to be populated because the patient booked themselves on my Google Calendar. I'm going to have their name, email address, the date of the appointment, of course, my name. There's going to be an intake form that they're going to be sent automatically from the Google Calendar or from their email that they have to fill out. Then I'm going to confirm that they have it before I actually complete their note. I'm going to make sure they sign my consent forms. I might populate their chief complaint. You don't have to. This is an option, so I put it there. The subjective, the objective, the labs, any imaging, my assessment, my plan, and finally my signature. So all of these are essentially what's called they're hot buttons. They're buttons that you can adjust pretty easily, very similar to a electronic health record. The intake form is essentially a Google Forms document, right? So it's a form document, and what they can do is they can come up here and they can fill in their name. They can first consent that say that they're in California. Then they can consent to all the different agreements I have. So the main agreements I have is the consent for telehealth in case we want to do any kind of virtual visits, HIPAA compliance, the consent to be treated, the financial agreements for the money that they pay, and the arbitration agreement, which is, for me, the replacement of my malpractice, but for you, it might just be an addition to your malpractice. And then I collect these responses in this intake form. This is the intake form that I can then look up. The other thing that I can do is with Google Meet, I can actually do a virtual visit with them. This is exactly like a telemedicine visit. I can call them, I can do a video visit, whatever you want to do. It's essentially the same thing. And with chat, I can either send them a text message if they have Google Chat, if they are a Google user. And if they're not, no problem. I can still get notifications on here for myself when they do something, when they send me something, when they engage with it in any way. All right, so how is this all set up? I'm using Zaps from Zapier. I know everybody says something else. Okay, so what I have essentially as my event. So imagine Zapier is a software that connects different software together. So when one software does something, it then sends that information to another software, and you can have 100 steps here. And for me, you can see I have about 5 or 6 because I'm keeping this very simple. This is kind of a proof of concept, and it does work, which I'm really happy about. So the event is somebody booking the Google Calendar event that I just showed you. The patient books the appointment time. From there, I extract their email address, I extract their phone number. Then I automatically create a Google Drive folder. As you guys already saw, I want their name and the date. So that's the name of the folder that we created so that We know that this is the first time the folder was created. This is the name of the patient in that folder, and all subsequent visits are going to go under that folder. Um, this is not important, but I'm going to create a SOAP note, and the SOAP note is going to be literally SOAP note with the name of the patient and the date and time of the visit. That's the SOAP note for that day. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to send them an immediate email saying, hey, just make sure that you have completed the consent forms that I asked you to do. And that's it. I'm going to send them a copy. I'm going to send them a copy of all the consent forms that they did. So you might ask, okay, so how do you um, uh, hook up the rest of the spots? So dose spot, this is dose spot. And for dose spot, I can then connect them to my electronic prescribing. So I would send the prescription from those spots. So this is something you have to do manually, which is, I don't think, a big deal. You just log into those spot and you send the prescription that they want. And then I can go to LabCore, and here I can send any kind of labs that I want to send. You could integrate this. It's a lot more work and it's not necessary. I don't see the point to it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a SOAP note that gets created, right, as you guys saw, and it's going to pull in the patient's name, their email address, their phone number, the date and time, me as a doctor, and all of this stuff I'm still going to fill out. The next thing that's interesting here, what I set up, is called AppScript. So essentially, it's a way for me to send the PDF to the patient. So when the visit is completed, when I've filled everything out and I send them the lab request, the requisite form or whatever, when that's all done, then, and I can attach it all in here, I send a PDF to the patient with all the necessary information. So that gets automatically sent to them. The way that's going to look is something like this, which is essentially what you just saw, but in a PDF form, and it's signed, and they know, oh, that was my patient-doctor visit. Now, there's a bunch of stuff missing here. So you might say, oh, how do you chat with the patient? So a lot of things you're going to have to do kind of outside. And that's how a lot of the electronic health records work. You can connect them in the future. So for example, other steps here that I would want to include, the next action would be in 12 hours, send a text message to the patient and say, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? And the way you would connect that action is probably through Twilio, which is a way for me to send text messages. Twilio is a way for you to send text messages between the patient. And of course, that can be all done not HIPAA compliant. So the patient, it's like texting their cell phone. If patients enroll or accept getting texted, then that's not a HIPAA compliant issue you have to worry about. Anyway, getting into the weeds. So I like this because I can automate a lot of stuff. Now, I can add other things if I want. So I could add Spruce Health if I wanted to. If I wanted to, I could integrate Spruce Health into this entire thing. So I'm sending a message to them, getting responses from them, and I'm collecting it all in here in Spruce. So those are different ways that you can sort of connect different things. And Spruce is a HIPAA compliant communication app for patients. So that might be a better spot for you. But I can also use voice. So if I wanted to, I can use Google Voice, which I can pull up here. Let's see, where's voice? Here. So Google Voice is another way for me to kind of automate sending a text message to the person and receiving phone calls. And that's something else that you can build into this entire workflow. So you would add what's called a webhook. But anyway, you could use a lot of different softwares. So I was thinking about what an actual electronic health record needs. Really, when I think about it, for me, the documentation piece is the most important. The sending the prescription, it doesn't necessarily have to be automated within the document. I'm pretty comfortable going into DoseSpot and doing that. I'm pretty comfortable going into labs and doing that. Now, the piece that I like about this is here, this is the folder of the patient. I essentially, in the email that I send them, I share this folder only with their email. And so I can automate all of that. So that gets sent as an email to them. It says, hey, this is your common folder. This is your patient portal. Your labs are going to get uploaded in there. Your prescription copies are going to get uploaded in there. Your soap note is going to get uploaded in there. You can share photos in there with me. So everything can go into this document folder, and it's secure. So this is a replacement for an electronic health record, whether you're using Hint Health or Healthy or Charm MD or any of these other electronic health records. So now, if you want to set this up, there's many ways of doing it. This is one of my workflows that I've followed here using Zapier, but there's many, many other ways of doing it. So I hope it's of value. If you have any questions about it, if you have any ideas, I would love to hear your unique ideas of what to integrate, what to pull in here to do what. But remember that using something like these apps or any other similar software platform like this, you can connect many different things together. If you want to get more complicated, what you can do is you can create a Google spreadsheet where you put in that they received the prescription, they got their lab test done, and then when the lab test done, it automatically sends includes an entry saying that the lab test was done and now I need to call the patient back. You can automate a lot of stuff, but remember that once you automate a lot of things, things can also break down, right? The longer this becomes, the easier this can break down. So sometimes it's better to just keep it simple and still do certain things manually. Maybe just getting a notification that the lab was done from LabCorp is all you need to say, okay, I'll just dedicate a time where I'm going to call my patients back with their lab results. So I hope it's of value. And that's it. Take care.